Hello Eureka, this is my feedback to your video from last week. So let's start. In the video, okay, you've included the title, the speaker, very good. Claims that, very good use of reporting verb. The difference between invention and innovation is their availability on the market. I would say this is a good first sentence because it includes everything, but I would say this is just a supporting idea. The difference between invention is their availability on the market. I think the main idea should be stated more broadly. So you can say something like claims that it is important to be able to distinguish between innovation and invention. Something like that. Because later on you can mention this as a supporting idea. It's actually a very good supporting idea. Okay, but overall, first sentence, it has everything. Very good. Moreover, he emphasizes that all innovations are an invention, but not all invention is innovation. Here I would substitute are and is for some more specific verbs which actually tell you more informative. So here you could say he emphasizes that all innovations start out as an invention, but not all inventions become an innovation, right? So start out or originally were created as or something like that is more informative than simply are and is. But your idea is very clear though. So as a supporting idea, that is one of the distinguishing characteristics. Okay. According to him, innovation is an invention released for sale and which has many copies, comma, the comma just doesn't work here. They can both be bought and ordered on the internet. So you see how we have these two clauses, starting with according to him all the way to copies. That's your first clause, and this is an independent clause. And then you have another independent clause, which is this one, and then you've just connected them with a comma. This is what we call a comma splice. If you want to keep it sort of this structure, you will have to use other punctuation, either a full stop or a semicolon, because the comma does not connect two independent clauses like this. But I think you can tidy up the whole thing. You can just kind of rephrase it a little bit, make the grammar a bit more focused, the structure of the sentence. According to him, innovation is an invention which has been made available on the market. Yeah, the internet here is also, it doesn't just talk about the internet, right? He doesn't say specifically, I mean, he does mention the internet, but the idea is they're widely available on the market, and the internet is just one type of market. So you just want to say that they're widely available on the market, right? Innovation is an invention released for sale, which has many copies. Yeah. He's talking about how you can buy all sorts of things on the internet, including crazy innovations. But these are so many ideas collapsed into one here. You just want to simplify. So the first supporting idea is the availability on the market, which is what you mentioned here. So that's what I would say. An innovation is an invention which has been released for sale and made available on the market, and that's it. You don't need anything more, because this a few ideas collapse together and it becomes very difficult to understand this sentence, especially for somebody who has not seen the video, right? And here when you say that they can both be bought and ordered, that kind of confuses the whole thing. This idea together with this one, the two of them just is too many supporting ideas all in one, right? So just keep it simple. According to Daniele Archibui, one distinguishing characteristic between innovation and invention is that an invention is widely available for sale on the market, or something like that, and that's it. However, he also argues, now here you could use the copies idea. He also argues that each invention is unique, and if there are two identical innovations, one of them is, yeah, what does that mean if there are two identical? You mean here, you mean the copies, or yeah, I'm not very sure. If there are two identical innovations, one of them is an imitation. Basically what he's saying is an innovation is always unique. It's something new. Maybe it's a variation on something existing, but it is new. Maybe it targets a new audience, or maybe it just has a new functionality, but it is unique. And to test that theory, if you find two identical products, here maybe products would be better. If you find two identical products, one of them is an imitation and not an innovation. But this has to be expressed more clearly. I get, having seen the video, I sort of understand what you're referring to, but for someone who hasn't seen the video, this is going to be difficult. I think the supporting idea is innovations are unique, and you can just simply say, however, he also argues that each innovation is unique and there are no two identical innovations, and that's it. That's all you need to say. Simple and clear. He states that the invention is a product created from scratch with only one copy. See, now that's much more clear here. Very good. And I think this sentence should come before the other one. So you see how nicely, here you will delete these copies here. Remember, we simplified this one. We're going to continue with this one here. And then this sentence, and it'll be much clearer, the whole thing. He states that the invention is a product created from scratch with only one copy, right? Each invention is unique, and if there are two, and there are no two identical innovations, right? That's it. He emphasizes that the inventions are not available for sale. Okay. But you just said they both can be bought on the internet, both innovation and invention. So I'm not sure. Yes, they are not widely available, that's true, but we already said that. Remember, we were talking about availability on the market? That's already included. So it's really another way of repeating this whole distinction between the two. One is available on the market, the other one isn't. But we said that already, so I don't think you need this. Based on this, he states that innovation has very important benefits for the economic industry. Sure. Yeah, he was talking about he was talking about how innovations create diversity on the market. You know, you include new functionalities, you target new customers with maybe a slightly different toothpaste or whatever, and that creates diversity on the market, and obviously it benefits industry. So if you can explain that a little bit more clearly, instead of saying simply innovation has very important benefits, that would be better. Just explain a little bit, right? I think he was talking about innovations create more variety, more diversity, and more products. And ultimately that benefits the economy, right? Further, he talks about designing innovation and challenges in receiving a patent for them because no one knows how it is going to work. Okay, now we do want to end with in conclusion, finally. Remember, this is your final sentence. Finally, in conclusion, or the author or the speaker concludes by blah blah blah. That would be the last sentence. Now let's unpack this a little bit and make it more clear. He talks about designing innovation and challenges in receiving a patent for them because no one knows how it is going to work. Yeah, okay. I like the idea that you stayed away from mentioning the ballpoint pen because that's an example, and you stayed away from that. That's very good. But here it's not very clear. What he was talking about with the ballpoint pen, this is a bit unclear. What he was talking about was it's a product which when it was invented, when it was invention, was kind of insignificant. I mean, it was this little thing. Nobody knew what kind of impact it would have. But once it became an innovation, it had this enormous impact on the market. And his idea was that it's very unpredictable. You can never tell. No one knows how it is going to work. You can just never tell. You can never predict whether something, a product, once it becomes an innovation, will have an impact or not. It's kind of difficult. So it's a kind of a paradoxical thought that he ended with. And the paradox is, it's a seemingly insignificant object. He pulled it out of his pocket as magic. It's like this little pen, but look how important it is. Everyone has it, right? So the paradox is, a product may start out as seemingly insignificant when it's an innovation, but once it becomes an invention, sorry, the other way around. It may start out as insignificant when it is an invention, but once it becomes an innovation, who knows, it may have an enormous impact on the market, and that impact is unpredictable. So I said it with too many words, but if you can put that whole idea in a final sentence in much more concise form than I just said it, that would be a good concluding sentence. But overall, you've tried here very well. You got some good cohesion. You have a lot of good things here. Very good first sentence overall. So yeah, overall good job. I would just say try to make the phrasing super clear. Very simple and very clear. Don't try too sentence structure or anything too adventurous. Just really, your test would be, if somebody hasn't seen the video, would it be clear for them, right? And I realized this video was very difficult to summarize because there's no argument there. It's just pure description. It's really hard to fish for these ideas. And the exam video is not going to be like that. It will be much easier to summarize. But overall, you tried. I mean, you did a good job here. So good work overall, Yoriza. I hope this is helpful. Keep up the good work.